Hi there, welcome to Power Cook. Yesterday, or the other day, Carlo was cooking with salmon and some vegetables. So today we're going to use some of those ingredients that we've got left over. So what we're going to do today, we're going to do salmon in a batter. So we're going to fry in some oil, but that's going to be very quick. So we need to start first with the sauce that we had, which is going to be very similar. So what we need to do is, I'll just get this on. So this heat is hot. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put in my mushrooms first because they will sweat, okay? So put them in there like that. Now, I've got some left, I can use them for tomorrow. I can use them in an omelette and things like that. What I might do is put some butter in, so cooking those off. Some water will actually come out because when you cook mushrooms, they actually do come out. So make sure you've got that on a good hot heat and just throw some butter in there. That'll add a bit of flavour to it as well, okay? So whilst this is cooking, I'm going to part cook the mushrooms so they're partly cooked. The butter will add a flavour. Make sure you've got your wooden spoon. I'll get my wooden spoon. And today I've got vegetables. Now these are frozen, so I need to throw these in. So these cook, okay, as well. Okay, so once it gets hot, I'll throw it in the onions and then, okay, the onions, and then we'll throw in the peas, and then I'll throw in obviously the cream. Okay, so I'm going to throw it in the peas because they will take the longest. We want to cook that for quite a while, okay? So a good 4 or 5 minutes. I've got it on a good heat. Then peas will take a while. The mushrooms will then come out as well, okay? So let that cook for a bit, like that, and then put in a bit of the mushrooms. So that is kind of cooking away. So that is ingredients left over from Carlo's salmon and mushroom sauce, which is basically this, but we're going to cook the salmon in a very different way, okay? So I would say let that cook for about 3-4 minutes, get it all hot. I've got it on a high heat there. And then as it cooks, you can start to throw in the sauce. And that butter isn't melting yet, so that shows you it's not hot. It's not that hot yet, but it is. You see the heat coming out? Oh. Okay, so that's going to take, this sauce will take the longest time, okay? So whilst that's cooking, what we're going to do, so what I've done, I've cracked about 2 or 3 eggs, so I've separated the yolk. So when you make a batter, do not keep the yolk because it slips off and you'll find out why later. So just make that, so this is gradually cooking away, and look at that. You can do this in any way you want. Make sure it smells really nice there. You can put other vegetables in there, carrots if you wanted to, anything. I'm going to give it about, have a look in there, I'm going to give it about another 2 or 3 minutes, and then the sauce, it will cook in the sauce. So that's started to cook, but you've got to make sure, check those peas as well. So they're starting to get a little bit warm, still cold because they were frozen. Frozen peas I tend to cook with because you can keep them for longer, okay? So just cook that for another minute. Now, the process. I've had a big salmon here, so I've cut it. Now this is where scissors, make sure you wash your scissors. The smaller, like we said, surface area, or Carlo's gone about, the surface area is easier. That means these will cook quicker. So the smaller these pieces, the better. So whilst that's cooking, that will cook this. Now I might you get a knife because that's a bit sharp. So let's get a knife in there. So that scissors isn't working on that. The skin. So it's up to you. You might want to do them thinner. For children, you might want to do them that size. To be honest, it doesn't really matter. These are going to cook pretty quickly. I like kind of, for me, I like a bit thinner. It just means cooking time's quicker. Okay, so surface area, we've had surface area before. Carlo loves his surface area. So do that, and now we've got our salmon pieces. They will not take very long. So come to the sauce, make sure that sauce now, you can see it's starting to brown. Okay, so now what we're going to do, turn it down on a low heat so you're not starting to burn things, and then this is the great thing, we can pour in a bit of that cream. Okay, so in that cream goes, put bucket in there, and again, now what's happened there is, because that milk's, the cream's gone in, that has, and I'll wash my hands because I've cooked the salmon, what that has done now, that's cooled it down. So now, by the time that's heated, now, what we need to do in the other pan, have a look at this other pan here, we're going to put oil in. So this is when the oil comes out. Okay, so we need to get some oil. I'll just get some oil here. And just watch how much I put in. So I want to get this hot as it cooks because then, okay, so you want it just enough to cover, okay? And you've got to make sure you've got your prongs ready, metal or plastic. Because it's a non-stick, really should use plastic. Right, so here we go. So this is where the fun goes. So what you can do is start to get, you've got your egg yolk, flour. This is where you can flavour. I'm putting a bit of paprika in mine. Okay, so I'm just gonna mix mine around here like this. Okay, and it's up to you. You might not want to put paprika in yours. You might want to put salt and pepper. That's up to you. Now, you mix that in like that. Okay, and that's enough. That's enough. Look at that. So, and look at this. I found this. So this is really good. This is like a chili, salty thing. Put that in there, and that is going to flavour your salmon. Now, it's up to you. You can put as much or as little. I have made this a few times, and it's absolutely amazing. I love black pepper, so you might even want to put some black pepper in there as well. This just means that it flavours, so you don't even need to add any flavour after you've cooked it. Okay, so that is actually the longest part there. So what we're doing, make sure this doesn't cook too much. So we're cooking that now. That's slowly cooking. That's a beautiful sauce there. So that's cooking nice and slowly. Now what we're going to do is, this is where we have to be careful and prepared. So I'll get a plate out here and watch this. This is where the fun starts. We want to cook it at the same time, so that's why you need to be prepared. Watch this. We're going to go egg into the mix. So watch this. You might need some more egg yolk. So remember, not a full egg yolk. Okay, like that, and then let that drip into that flavoured batter we've got. Okay, and then what we're going to do is, well, actually, to make it quicker, I'm going to just do a few here like this. Let's whack them in. Okay, like that. And I'll just do a few here like this, like that. And this is really good fun. You get a bit messy. And all flavours, you might want to put some herbs in there if you want in. It's up to you, your choice. Carlo, he said Carlo didn't like this because Carlo was like, this is not what Italians have. Well, maybe not, but this is really good. So make sure you've got your egg yolk, mix it around. Some people like to do it 2 or 3 times. You could add breadcrumbs if you want a KFC, which we'll be doing in a few weeks, KFC chicken. What you would do, you would actually put some breadcrumbs in with this as well. And okay, so we'll do 1 or 2 more and then I'll show you. So I've almost finished mine, so here we go. So you need to make sure you wash your hands. That now is pretty much ready. My sauce is pretty much ready. Make sure you've got it in the batter, like that. Here we go. Doesn't need to be pretty because the flavour is in what you've put on. Okay? And you don't have to put any seasoning in it. You could wait till afterwards. Now this will just add and make it really crispy. I'm going to wash my hands. And now what we're going to do is we're going to cook it. And that is going to be it. So I'm going to wash my hands because you've been cooking with me, holding meat. And I'm going to get to plate to make it go professional. So let's get a fancy one. Okay, so all the children, yeah. So this is obviously really hot. So turn this down because that's really hot now. So I'm just going to turn this off because I accidentally had it on a really hot heat. So put it that. Now watch this. This is great. This will cook really. Remember what we said about surface area? Okay. These will cook really quickly because we cook them really small, and because the surface area is smaller, it'll cook quicker. And that is just really, really good. Okay. So that now. We just basically leave that. Try not to touch that. That will cook in itself. You can see that crispy batter there. You can do it quicker. You can use sparkling water. That's really good. Let's have a look at this sauce. We don't want to make sure we don't forget about this sauce. It will get upset. Okay. Now, last time I didn't do it, but what I am going to do, I'm going to put in my pepper because I love pepper. So get some pepper in there. Okay. You can taste it if you want. I kind of like to see the pepper. So if you look here, these little salmon pieces are almost finished. You can see. So again, just turn them over and you get that lovely, look at that. Like I said, if you want them more crunchy, you can add breadcrumbs to it, okay? This bigger one will obviously take a bit longer, so I have to keep an eye on this one. The smaller ones should be okay, but remember, test your meat before you finish cooking. Right, so that is pretty much it. So I'm going to, whilst that's cooking, start to tidy up a bit, okay? Put everything away. I've got my sauce here ready. This is really good now. Okay, like I say, you can put other healthy vegetables in there. Have a taste of it, see what it's like. make sure that the peas are cooked, because we want the peas cooked, okay? Yeah, they're really good. So I'm going to just turn that up a bit now, so it's a little bit warmer. And that's a nice, healthy sauce. And again, just look at that. And to be extra healthy, what you could do is use a little bit less oil, but also use tissue paper to rest them on. So I'm just making sure these will be pretty much done. Okay, I'm just going to turn them up a little bit more. And let's see, always test your meat. Now what I am going to do to finish off mine, to add a bit of crunchiness, I'm going to put a bit of spring onion. So have a look at this spring onion. I'm going to just add a bit of that. Spring onion, you can cook it, but I actually like it fresh. Because what now I'm going to do is, I'm going to use just about that much, it's up to you. So here we go, now this is ready. See that's bubbling, so take that off the heat. Yeah, so that's now ready. Right, so what I'm going to do is, if I just leave that there, put that over there, and now I'm just going to start, look at this. So you get your sauce, and just put it like that, like that. This serves about 2, but you can make as much as you want. And then you want a bit of these on top. They will just add a bit of crunch, but if you like that onion, so you've got onion and spring onion in there. Now, before we do that, let's check, okay? So let's just check this is cooked. Okay, so I'm going to get my knife, and don't do forks a lot in Vietnam. So that's why Mr. Chris is, and look at that, that's beautiful. And we can see that that is cooked perfectly. Flaky. Now, to finish it off, that's really good. Now to finish that off, just for one final go, look at that, that's beautiful. Look at that, 3 pieces, it's up to you. I'm going to switch that off, always switch off your heat. Right, so switch that off, yes. And because we are dealing with fish, you should always put a squeeze of the old lemon juice. Now, just to make it easier, I have got a lemon juice in here. It's somewhere. Oh, it's here. So this just makes it better. Here we go. Because I was thinking the other day. So if you squeeze your lemon like that, squeeze on there. You don't have to worry about it going into your food. Squeeze like that. Squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. Okay. Take this out, just so I like to see. Okay. And then just pour a little bit of that, not onto the sauce, but onto the salmon, like that. And then that is your mushroom vegetable sauce with battered salmon. So try doing that. Nice and quick and easy. Now that is simple, easy, kapow out cook.